Hi everyone, welcome to Isama Rat Care, and I think we're now on to day 10 of 12 days of enrichment. The end is in sight, a few more good ideas to come. Today is quite a simple one actually, and it features a particular food which I think is very enriching in itself, as well as a really good kind of nutritional properties and such, and that is the humble egg. So eggs, much like nuts and shells, are really good in that they already come with a bit of enrichment, which is the shell. It's quite challenging for rats to get into, but it's a really high value food, much like nuts. So it's very high in protein, there's a bit of fat in there, so it's something that you don't want to give loads and loads unless you've got very young rats. I tend to say that for average adult rat group of 4, you might want to give them maybe an egg a month. And boiled egg is a great version of it. You can give things like scrambled, etc. But if you really want to up the enrichment factor, egg in the shell, and plus the shell is a nice source of calcium, so it's quite a good thing to give to rats, particularly the young or the pregnant or that kind of thing. So one of the challenges with the egg in a shell is it's a very smooth surface. I would say the majority of rats cannot get purchase or their teeth into it unless you crack it just a little bit to start it off. So that's what I will do with this one. In fact, in the old Blue Peter fashion, here's one I cracked earlier. In fact, the pan cracked that. I always do a few spare eggs because some of them just end up in absolute pieces. In fact, if I'm ever doing myself boiled eggs or dippy eggs or something, the rats get a couple cooked as well. Generally the ones that are already a little bit cracked. So that tiny crack that you see on there, it's probably not the clearest in the world. That is enough for the rats to get purchase on that, so I'll be throwing that one in the cage shortly and we shall see what they make of it. As with anything, I try and kind of up the game a little bit and give you some kind of options that are a little bit more challenging as well. So egg on its own is fine. What I would say is never give one per rat or anything like that, because half their enrichment is in kind of chasing each other around the cage trying to get a bit of egg, and actually fairly quickly it'll be destroyed and there'll be bits of egg everywhere and they'll settle down and they'll kind of chew on their bit of egg. But it can be quite nice to offer the egg in a slightly more challenging thing. So one of the ways I do that is, much like we looked at earlier, we have the egg box pinata. This is currently being used to transport the eggs. So you can do that with egg box pinata as well, and put one of the eggs in one of the boxes as a bit of enrichment, close it up, stick it on the cage. I won't be doing that one tonight because you've already seen an egg box pinata from me. What you can also use is things like this. Now I will say, if you do this, you do need to break the shell up significantly more because the rats have only got small space to kind of get in there and get their teeth in. I'm not going to be using that one tonight because I only want my rats to have a couple really. I don't want them to have too many eggs, particularly with Mog being on pregnancy watch, and I don't want her to get too fat. She's pretty imminent now. So I won't put this in because I only want to put in kind of 2 eggs for the group, but it's a great option, and you can break up the egg a little bit depending how much. You can always try it, and if it's not working, break up the shell a little bit further and so on until they can get to it. But it's great because they're having to get in there and pull things out. These are also great for putting vegetables in a similar way to how we did the kind of kebabs. This is another great way of feeding veg. These are just salted fat balls for birds. You can get different fat ball dispensers, they're actually quite good as well, so keep an eye out for that. The other thing where I'm going to choose to do it today is using this. So this is a little hanging net that I made. Now I'm going to stop this video and then go to a really quick kind of tutorial where I show you how I made that, and see what you think of it. So it's a bit of a different view, so you'll be able to see it a little bit clearer. Right, so now you've got how to make this. My idea is that I will hang it up in the cage, and actually you could use this kind of little net thing to kind of cradle pretty much anything. You could do a smaller one for nuts in their shells. A walnut would fit into a little one. In fact, if the rats don't entirely destroy this, I might reuse it and stick something in later on. You can make a bigger one and put a load of hay in so that they have to pull it out themselves. It's quite a simple idea, though it's a little bit fiddly to make. I quite like fiddly. So all you need is string for that, so that's dead cheap and very easy for you to do. So we shall put these in the cage and see what the girls think of them. So we're ready to offer the eggs up to the rats. I'm going to do this by hand because they move quite fast and I've got a chance of being able to show you things a little bit better if I can move around with them. Right, so they're all expecting food upstairs, as is more normal here. Ellie has realised. I'm putting it downstairs because there's a bit more floor space. Come on girls, what's this? What's this? Straight away, Ellie is very, very interested. Come on, I want a few more of you down. Yes, I do. Yes, you know what this is, don't you? Come on. Wait, that's my finger, Ellie. That's also my finger. Right, so the egg is down. Immediately, all hell breaks loose. They have to find that small crack that I showed you before. I'll open this a bit. It gives slightly better video. It's not the best view as everybody's like looking on with horror at the amount of work that they're expected to do. I wonder if this is not quite cracked enough. You do find that sometimes. It's a bit like rat football though. They're all trying to kind of tackle each other to get the egg. Needless to say, with Mog's current state, she's the most enthusiastic. Right, I think they're struggling here, so I'm going to try and steal it without losing my hands. Mog is very food possessive as a pregnant Mog. Come on you. Oi, no, I need that. Yes, I need that egg. Right, I've got the egg again. So I've just smashed the shell a little bit. That will make things start a lot faster now. I don't know if you can see that. We have eggs being eaten and Luna's somewhat missed out there. So I'm going to put my other egg in here. I'm also going to crush that a bit because they're not going to be able to get this out without it smashing. Wait a sec. So there. I'm not making it too high for them today because I do want them to get to it. You can see the scavengers picking up the remains. We have bits of egg around the cage now. Fing, come on, what's this? Ooh. They're like, why am I going to get that egg when there's bits of egg all over the floor that I can eat? Tito? What's this, Ellie? You'll go for it. Aha. And now they're trying to work out if they can get it off easily, or whether it's just worth them finding the easy food and then coming back for it later. Why is there a bit of egg on the floor here? Yes, I think they're going for the scavenging approach. That egg will go very shortly, I'm sure. So I'll go over and out for now, and then we'll let them continue their eggy feast and then move on to the next egg shortly. They figured out the swingy thing now. And hopefully I'll catch one of them on the back. A few of them have been on the back trying to eat it before, but I suspect they've sussed that they can just reach it now. Mog's back down. I think she ate most of the other egg. Oh, Ellie's got it out of the holder. And yes, they have actually chewed through, made a hole in the holder. Good going, girls. Right, night night for now.